Welcome back, Naga comrades and friends. In our previous episode, we journeyed through the Thuda War of Four Village in Nagaland, tracing the days from the 14th to the 26th of August 1960. The Naga Home Guards, under the battlefield command of General Zuheto Sema, fiercely engaged the entrenched Assam Rifles outpost at Thuda and brought down a Dakota aircraft of the Indian Air Force on the 26th of August. We saw how courage, discipline, faith, and sacrifice defined the battle. Today, we delve deeper into the political and military journey of the Naga national movement. We revisit the tensions that were steadily building in those years. We uncover the political blunders made in the shadows, carried out at the cost of our people's struggle and sacrifices. And we follow the events that would permanently alter the direction of the Naga movement. Through dramatized animation, we will take you into the haunting aftermath, allowing you to glimpse and sense the suffering and trauma endured by the villagers and the victims crushed under brutal repression. So stay with us till the very end, because what you are about to hear and see marks the fault line that continues to shape the political course of our movement and who we are today. What came next is a story written in fire and pain, in agony and silence, in hunger and tears, and in the haunting memory of a people tested beyond the limits of human endurance. It was a time when the world seemed to turn its face away, and the cries of the innocent were carried only by the wind across the hills. Every heart that lived through those days bore wounds deeper than words could reach. It was an age of sorrow that should weigh upon the conscience of every Naga generation. Before we enter this haunting chapter, we must make a few historical clarifications, and we must briefly revisit the path that led to these dark years, so that the truth of our past is preserved with accuracy and dignity for all generations to come. In our earlier episode, we mentioned Four Village as being under Phek district. Historically, however, Phek district did not exist in 1960. During that period, the entire region, including Four, Matikhrü, Lefori, Yisi, and Moki, was administered under the Naga Hills Tuensang area of the government of India. Phek district was later established on the 19th of December 1973 when it was carved out of the erstwhile Kohima district. In recent years, on the 2nd of November 2024, the government of Nagaland officially created Meluri district carved out of Phek. The entire Pochuri region, including Four, now falls under the newly formed Meluri district. In our dramatized visuals, you may have noticed the use of modern rifles, uniforms, and equipment. These were chosen to help modern audience visualize the battles more vividly. But in truth, during those years, the Naga army of the 1960s fought with a mix of weapons. Their arsenal ranged from traditional spears and daws to locally crafted muzzle loaders known as Dane guns and surplus firearms left behind after the Second World War. especially the British Lee Enfield number 4 MKI.303 and the Japanese Arisaka Type 99 rifles. They also used captured weapons and ammunition from Indian forces in combat, including Bren light machine guns, LMGs, Sten submachine guns, and self-loading rifles. SLR, seized from the Assam Rifles and the Indian Army. Yet, even then, the true strength of the Naga soldiers lay not in weaponry, but in their courage, unity, and unshakable faith in God. In those days, before going to battle, the Naga army would fast and pray for days until they received God's assurance. They sought guidance, forgiveness, and strength from the Almighty. Many veterans later spoke of storms rising suddenly to cover them, of fog shielding them from enemies, of bullets missing their mark, and of unseen hands protecting them in the thick of war. These were not mere coincidences. For those who lived through those years, they were signs of divine presence, reminders that even in warfare, the Naga army was led not by fear, but by faith and the conviction that their cause was just before God. And there is something more, older than weapons and tactics, and as near as breath. Among our people, it is observed and affirmed that the landowners know every depth, length, and breadth of their land, and the land itself recognizes and honors its guardians. For the Nagas, land is not an object to be owned. It is inheritance, memory, and covenant. The hills carry our ancestors' footprints. The rivers remember their songs. When we speak of homeland, we speak of kinship, of soil that has guarded our graves and raised our generation. That bond, sacred and living, is why our steps were steady and our resolve unbroken. It is from this understanding of land and people that the events of the late 1950s and the defining year of 1960 must be remembered. In those difficult years, the signs of struggle and survival were never just political incidents. They were reminders that even in the hardest moments, the Naga army and our villages held fast to a sense of duty, believing their actions flowed from the truth of who they were and from the responsibility to defend the land entrusted to them. Early 1960 was one of the most intense and transformative periods in Naga political history. It was a moment where military pressure, political negotiation, hardship, internal division, and the search for national direction all converged at once. Since the first confrontation between Indian forces and Naga volunteers at Hooker village in the Yimchungru area on the 24th of March 1955, the Indian Army began steadily increasing troop deployment into the Naga hills, and confrontations intensified across the region. By early 1960, the Naga homeland was already under severe military strain. Years of clashes between the Naga army and Indian forces had turned many villages into zones of surveillance and militarization. The Naga hills were sealed off from the outside world under the Assam Maintenance of Public Order Act of 1953. This was followed by the Armed Forces Special Powers Act of 1958, which intensified military occupation and suppression. Communities were herded into controlled settlements. Fields were left untended. Rice and livestock were seized or destroyed. Movement for cultivation was restricted. Food scarcity deepened. Many families lived through empty granaries and long days of hunger. Daily life unfolded under patrols, curfews, and sudden raids. This created an atmosphere of exhaustion, fear, and constant insecurity. During these turbulent years, the political landscape shifted unpredictably. Angamizapu Phizo, president of the Naga National Council, had already left the Naga Hills in December 1956. Under intense military pressure, he crossed the Patkai Ranges into East Pakistan. There, he lived in exile for nearly 4 years. Communication with underground leaders inside the Naga homeland was extremely difficult. Messages passed only through irregular couriers and trusted families. Whatever news reached home came in scattered fragments. Throughout this period, Indian intelligence and other international agencies closely monitored his movements. In June 1960, A.Z. Phizo left East Pakistan and reached London. This began a new phase of advocacy that carried the Naga political question onto the international stage. However, his exile widened the distance between him and the leaders who remained in the Naga Hills. Consequently, the movement entered a period of drastic change, and the political landscape began to divide into two distinct directions. One was the Naga National Council and its armed wings. They remained committed to full independence, and they continued to intensify guerrilla warfare against the occupying forces. The other was the Naga People's Convention. It was led by Dr. Imkongliba Ao as its first president, John Bosco Jasoki as the first secretary, Vizol Angami as the vice president, S.C. Jamir as joint secretary and later a signatory to the 16-point agreement, P. Shiluao, who would later become the first chief minister of Nagaland, and other key figures who later signed the 16-point agreement. They believed that negotiation with India offered the most immediate path to stability. By early 1960, talks with New Delhi had gained momentum, and on 26 July 1960, the 16-point agreement was signed between the NPC and the Government of India behind closed doors. This decision later led to the creation of Nagaland state. But it also created a deep and lasting division within the Naga people. It fractured political unity, it altered territorial identity, and it planted a schism that continues to shape the Naga question to this day. Two important facts must be remembered at this moment in the story before we step into the most haunting chapters of our Naga political journey. The Naga People's Convention was created to be a mediator. It was meant to act as a bridge between the government of India and the Naga National Council led by A.Z. Phizo. But this purpose collapsed the moment the NPC chose to negotiate directly with New Delhi without consulting the NNC. Warnings had already been served by the Naga National Council in 1959 and 1960. Even so, the Naga People's Convention continued its separate negotiations even after the signing of the 16-point agreement. As those talks progressed, the government of India considered bringing Phizo into the discussions. At that stage, S.C. Jamir, then parliamentary secretary under Prime Minister Nehru, wrote to P. Shilu Ao, the first chief minister of Nagaland, on the 22nd of March 1963, expressing his strong opposition. In that letter, he said, "I cannot tolerate such double standard policy of the government of India. If the Prime Minister starts negotiating with Phizo, I am prepared to come back because there is no use sitting here to be only laughing stock." His stance shaped the MPC's decisions. And when the MPC finally bypassed the NNC and proceeded with talks on its own, the General Secretary of the MPC, A. Kevichusa, resigned in protest. What might have unfolded if the NPC had never negotiated directly with the government of India? How different would the Naga political movement be today? And why did S.C. Jamir strongly oppose including AZ Phizo and the NNC in those talks? What was he afraid of? Was there a stake? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters in understanding the choices that changed our history. Friends, what you are seeing now is archival footage from 18 February 1961, when General Shri Nagesh, then Governor of Assam, inaugurated the interim body for the Naga region. This ceremony marked the start of an administrative arrangement that many Nagas viewed as a direct compromise of the political rights already declared and defended by the national movement. The interim body, chaired by Imkongliba Ao, was created under the authority of the government of India. For a large section of the Naga freedom movement, this moment was seen not as progress but as a deliberate attempt to weaken the momentum of Naga self-determination. Its formation deepened internal fractures and heightened suspicion among national workers who believed the political mandate of the Naga people had been set aside without their consent. The effects of the 1961 arrangement soon became clear. Many Nagas saw it as a direct break from the political foundation laid by the Naga Club in 1918, strengthened by its 1929 memorandum to the Simon Commission, asking that the Nagas be left to determine their own future. This mandate was reaffirmed through the Naga Independence Declaration of 14th August 1947 and the plebiscite of 16th May 1951, in which more than 99% of participants supported an independent Naga nation. Against this background, the admission of Nagaland as a state of the Indian Union on December 1, 1963 was viewed by many as a framework that contradicted these earlier sovereign decisions. Statehood created new administrative pathways, but it also deepened the divide between those who accepted the Indian constitutional structure and those who remained committed to the original national stand. This period led to the surrender of several Naga army units and leaders who, under pressure, disillusionment, or survival needs, laid down arms and joined the newly formed state structures. Among them was the Thuda battle commander, Zuheto Sema, whose role in the fierce 1960 engagement had once symbolized Naga resistance. His surrender, followed by others, revealed the heavy toll that political confusion, military pressure, and internal division had taken on the movement. Many rejected the new arrangement and refused to accept what they saw as a compromise of the Naga nation's historical and political rights. They reorganized the resistance, rebuilt their structures, and continued the struggle under harsher conditions. The years that followed were marked by bloodshed, reprisals, village burnings, deep mistrust, fragmentation, and unending negotiations that strained the fabric of Naga society. This footage captures the beginning of that turning point. It records the administrative ceremony that opened a new chapter of contestation and set the stage for decades of conflict, sacrifice, and unresolved political questions. In our next episode, we will return to the Thuda battle and explore its aftermath in full detail. We have divided this documentary into parts so that each segment is easier to follow, properly paced, and more informative for our viewers. To everyone who has watched till this point, thank you for staying with us. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us continue bringing more authentic Naga historical content. Until the next episode, stay informed, stay safe, and kuknalim.